Why is it so easy for us to get distracted? You'll be working on something, but you have such zeal and conviction to bring to fruition. But then something happens, and you end up spending 4 hours on YouTube looking at random fucking songs. Why does that happen? It's such a weird phenomenon. I don't get it. I guess the only thing that we can do is try to fight against it. Okay, so here we are in Godot again. Truthfully, I did not even want to be here today doing this, but I figured that the best thing to do when I'm feeling that way is to at least open up the project, look at it, work on it for maybe 30 minutes or whatever. I think the most important thing is to just not let the project fall into this infinite, like, cycle of, like, oh, you don't even look at the project anymore, or, like, you know, if you do, you don't do anything on it. I think just going back and keeping the momentum going, working on it, is going to be the best thing to do, because if I don't do that, then, you know, we're falling off of the accountability aspect, which is something that I want to not have happen. And that's, you know, part of the whole point of this project, is so I can keep myself, or train myself, to be more accountable. And that's what I'm doing. So today what we're going to work on is the combat. I think I want to have a better animation for like a melee attack. I kind of almost want more of a sweep thing. This animation here I think would be really good for like a parry or block sort of thing. Part of this will probably have to add enemies as well. So we'll be doing that at some point as well. Today, just with the time I have, I'm going to focus on making a little bit of a better attack animation, just like a basic melee swipe, and seeing if I can have the hitbox follow along that, and seeing if we can't actually, you know, get some damage numbers or something. That would be cool. So the first thing I did was I opened up Sprite and made this pixel art. Now, I'm not the best artist, but I was able to put something together in a relatively short amount of time that was pretty convincing and served its purpose for a basic melee sweep. I also was making this with the intention of attaching a hitbox to it somehow, that somehow moved. We end up getting to a bit of a different solution for that a little bit later on, which you'll see. Once the animation got into a place where I was comfortable with, I went ahead and used Sprite to make a sprite sheet of it, and we went ahead and got that in the game. The process was the same as the other sprites that I had downloaded off of itch.io. Just getting them in here and choosing the cells. Once we added those, I kind of messed up and it added them all to the existing animation that was in there, which I didn't even know was something that could happen, but we go ahead and fix it by just deleting everything, and eventually we have something. Now there's that little extra bit of nonsense there, so a couple more trips to Sprite in order to try to fix it did the trick. Looks good. And then, with one flip of a checkbox, we were in business. We have a fully fledged melee animation that we can use. Back in game here, we can actually see the melee animation in effect and how it'll actually end up looking. I think it looks pretty okay for what I'm trying to go for, but you know, there's some tweaks that need to be made. It's a little big, and it's a little far away. At the end of this day of development that I was doing, we ended up with this. With the melee animation looking how I wanted it, more or less, we went ahead and added our enemy. Like before with the player character, we need to add some animations and sprites, so we do that. And then it's time to add a script to our enemy to give them a little bit of AI.
But not like that!
And wouldn't you know it, it's another blank canvas. Jesus Christ, what do I do? Well, the first thing I opted for was to bring my old code up just because I knew that there were things in the character code that I was going to have to use for the enemy as well. But I ran into a bit of a problem because the enemy code is being made on a rigid body 2D, but the player code is written on a player character node. Is that what it's called? Hold on. After much difficulty, I decided to turn to the internet for help. According to this guy on Reddit, rigid bodies are for physics-based things, and character bodies are controlled by the player or some custom behavior, which is what I intend to do with my enemies. So thank you, guy on Reddit. You have given me the confidence to make my enemies character body 2Ds. So now that our enemy is a character body, we can use the velocity variable in order to set them go in a direction. And basically what I was trying to do here is set them going to the direction of the player at all times. So basically, their AI...
But not like that!
Well, basically just make them move towards the player always. And would you look at that? We kind of got it working. A little slow, though. You need to speed up, buddy. Also, you're not animating. What's wrong with you? You need some work. And work we did. We went through, we added a state manager like we did on the player in the first episode of the series, in order to manage our animations, and also it helps if you name the animations correctly. Once we did that, though, look at us! We got a little buddy frolicking around with us in this field here. I'm over the moon at this point. I'm so happy. And it's working exactly how I want it to. There's nothing more satisfying. And of course, with that being said, now it's time to kill him. But in order for us to kill him, he has to have some health. Not only does he have to have some health, but we have to have some way to take it away from him. And in order to do that, we need to add some logic to our melee attack here, which is what I'm doing here. I used signals in order to make it so that whenever a hit does happen, and it registers with like a collision box, he actually does hit the guy. I had some trouble doing that at first, as you can see here, where we can register that a hit happens, but only in the form of some godforsaken error. After tuning the code up a little bit, though, we have fixed it. And basically what's happening here is at frame 5 of the animation for the attack suite, the hitbox turns on and registers anything that's inside of it, and sends it in the form of a signal to the player character script, and then we can do damage from there. So, huge step. Huge step. There was a significant amount more that I did in this week of development that I haven't included in this video, because it is currently 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, and the video has to go out on Sunday. So this will be a part 1 of 2. The second part will be happening on Tuesday, so stick around for that if you want to see the rest of what I did this week. And yeah, thank you for watching, and you know, this week was pretty hard just because I wasn't feeling that motivational spike that I normally do. And I think like the main way to combat that and to fight those distractions is to just get into it, because I found that when I did actually get into doing a lot of the game dev stuff, I ended up spending a lot more time than I thought I would on the project. And that is just a function of opening the project and starting to work on it. Biggest hurdle is starting. So, yeah, I hope that you guys like it, and I will see you on Tuesday for the next part. Bye-bye.